Hey, what's going on, cash flow hackers? It's Chris with Life 180, and I'm here with Jeff Moore, Jeff the Wealth Builder on Instagram. So go check him out. I'll put the link in the description below. Now that we got that out of the way, we are at, well, first of all, dude, thanks for being here.
Thanks.
This is awesome.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, man. And so Jeff and I actually met last year. We're at Funnel Hacking Live right now. It's the best marketing conference.
Best.
Like, for those of you who don't know, I've been using ClickFunnels since month one that they started back in 2014. And I've been doing it since 2014. It is, if you do marketing, it is hands down the best software in the world.
I concur.
And so we met last year, actually having dinner randomly, and we met, and like this year we just kind of like stayed more connected. Jeff is also in the life insurance space, in the wealth coaching space, and I was just like, you know what, like, everybody's probably sick of hearing my opinion all the time, so why don't we get some fresh blood on here and
well,
talk about some stuff.
First of all, I would like to say thank you for building the platform that you're building with Life 180. I think it's a refreshing thing to have a platform that is so intentional of getting good information out to the public. So kudos to you.
Thanks, man.
You're doing an awesome job. You know, I follow your platform, and we need more people like you to be ravaging fans of what this industry is.
Amen. We need you to step it up and keep doing it.
I know.
We need you to start creating content.
I'm going to do it.
We got it. So guys, follow him, support him.
Yes.
And that'll be awesome. And I'm blowing up on Instagram. Blowing up. I got like 3,000 followers now. I'm going huge.
Yes.
Yeah. So go check me out on Instagram too. If you got real Chris Kirkpatrick over there, I just like to confuse everybody and change my name on all these different platforms. But so let's talk about this a little bit, because
let's go.
We got a lot going on in the world right now.
Yes.
A lot of political uncertainty, a lot of economic uncertainty, inflation.
You name it.
Joe Biden's amazing. I mean, no, not really. But should I not go there? But the
go there. It's all right.
So here's the deal. See,
but the great thing is, what people need to realize, that politicians are not going to save your life.
Totally.
So, you know, one of my core fundamental beliefs is that, you know, this country really is on a trajectory that we're producing fights between themselves.
Totally.
So it's like, we got to get out of that whole space. We like in a real negative space right now about political party and political. We Americans, you know, so it should be about the movement and the progression of America, not a political party. And that's one of the things that I'm just on I'm gonna get off the soapbox right now. But that's one of the things that I hate, is that we are creating two separate and distinct Americas, and I don't like it.
No, I'm with you, and my perspective on that is nobody's coming to save you.
Nobody.
You better save yourself. And to that point, like, so you and I both love whole life insurance, right?
Yes.
One of the challenges that I have, whether it's investing in stocks, index universal life, which obviously everybody knows how I feel if you watch this channel about that, whole life insurance, any financial product, there is no good product. There's no really bad product. It's just, is it good or bad for your situation, good or bad for your objectives and goals and what your scenario is?
Well, I disagree.
Okay.
I think there are good products, and then I think there are bad products, and I think there's products that should never be sold.
Okay.
And one of the products I think should never be sold is Index Universal Life or Universal Life.
Fair enough.
So you can put me on the record for that, because the way that those policies are actuarially designed, they're designed to run out of money before you die. So that is not something that I would like to be a ravaging fan of. Because it only helps the insurance company. It only helps the agent, and it doesn't help the person. So I like to create win-win-win situations and win-win-win scenarios that everyone wins.
It's funny you say that. So I had a conversation with a guy who does marketing for an IUL guy. I'm not going to name names, but so I had a conversation with him the other day, and we were talking about the good and the bad and the ugly of Index Universal Life and whole life, and where does one fit. And it was a productive conversation. It was actually, I was really impressed by the way he handled his side, and I think we had this really productive back and forth. One of the things that I think was an aha moment to him was he's like, well, worst case scenario, like, the problem with Index Universal Life is that agents don't design the policies right. And I'm like, well, that's the first problem. The second problem is, even if you design them right, there's still a chance that there's going to be a lot of problems, right? Now, I'm not saying everyone is going to blow up, everyone's going to lapse, but they're not going to perform the way that you think they're going to, and that's the first problem. And the problem on the front end of it is, there's a lot of uneducated people that are selling a product that they don't understand to people that are relying on them for their financial futures, and that's going to lead to a lot of problems. The beautiful part about whole life is even if you got a bad whole life agent and they don't know how to design a policy properly, it's impossible to hurt a client if you stay in it long enough.
That's right.
Right? Like, it is bulletproof, you know, as far as that goes. Now, I would say that, you know, there's optimized ways and there's ineffective ways, and I have plenty of critique for certain whole life agents that do it, you know, selling all base policies, so to speak. But like, even those people that are doing that, you're never gonna hurt somebody from a 30-year perspective, you know? And IULs, you absolutely will.
Yes.
Or can, I should say.
I just think that there's too many moving parts in IUL.
Sure.
Too many targets that must happen at the exact perfect right time for you to get any kind of optimization out of those plans. And the likelihood of that happening, even with a skilled and a design agent, is you're talking less than 1%.
Yeah.
Because the problem, and then where they would tell you, well, if everything goes bad, just lower the death benefit, and that'll help it out internally. But life insurance wasn't designed for you to lower your expectations.
I know. If that's what you're buying it for,
if that's what you're buying it for, like, why would you do that?
Have you seen my IUL challenge?
No, I haven't. Tell me about it.
So I created an IUL challenge because, like, I got tired of hearing index universal life agents trying to convince me that I just didn't get it. And I said, all right, that's fair. Like, A, you're wrong. I've been in this industry longer than you, and I've seen it, and I understand the products inside and out, and they try to tell me I don't, but then that's another story. So, but you can't argue with them, you know? Like, it is what it is. And so I created the IUL challenge to basically say, all right, show me a policy that's 10 years old. I want the submitted illustration with that policy, right? Show me that illustration. 10 years ago, what's the story of index universal life? Upside potential, downside protection, right? What's the last decade been? The most upside potential you're ever gonna see, greatest bull run of all time, right? Okay, so what happened is, the last 10 years, I said, show me the original submitted illustration and then show me the in-force illustration, just matching the original illustration, which if it's got upside potential and downside protection, we just went through the greatest bull run, you should have captured a lot of that upside, right? So every policy should have outperformed as they were sold. And so I said, show me one policy. And I said, the first IUL agent that can do it, I'll give you $1,000 cash out of my pocket, and I'll even bring you on my show and tell everybody how amazing of an agent you are.
It's two factors that will prevent that from ever happening.
Yeah.
You got the cost, the internal cost of that policy, and don't talk about the option cost and how they have increased each and every year, and all of the crazy options now that they're trying to sell those things under
proprietary indexes. And
oh my gosh, don't even get into that, right? But the one thing that makes it harder for index universal life to perform each and every year is the rising cost of that term insurance. Like, the older you get, the worse and the harder that your money has to operate for you to even get back to even.
And if you don't, especially if you don't get out of the gates really good, right? And reducing cap rates and all these different things that are happening right now.
And then a lot of consumers, they think math and money are the same thing. And math and money is not the same.
Right.
Like 1 + 1 in math is always going to equal 2, but 1 + 1 in money is never going to equal 2 because there's too many other factors that go into play. You know, you got taxes, you got fees, you got so many other different things that contribute to the performance of that, and I think that's what makes it hard. But furthermore, the reason why I'm not such a big advocate or big fan of index universal life is because, you know, I recently had someone, you talk about your IUL challenge, and I had a story of a prospect. He reached out and called to me, and you know, he had an index universal life plan for 22 years. He was putting $400 a month in a plan for 22 years, and we got a copy of his in-force projection, and he had no cash, like zero cash in the policy. So his $400 a month right now is paying basically for the base month of insurance, and then in 2 years, he's going to be required to put more money in the plan, or he's going to lose it.
He's like $105,000 out.
So what kind of taste does that leave in his mouth for life insurance?
The hard part about that too is, like, A, that was a poorly designed IUL policy on its own. If it had no cash, I'll be on the record as somebody who doesn't like IUL to say that even as an IUL, it should have done better than that if it were designed properly. It obviously was just a poorly designed policy, but furthermore, this goes back to what I was saying earlier about the conversation I had with the marketing guys. Like, that's the problem with IUL. You're never, ever, 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 ever gonna have it happen where 22 years from now, somebody's putting $400 into a month into a whole life policy in 22 years having no cash value. You're always, after 22 years, gonna have more money than you put into it.
Especially if you're using a good dividend paying whole life insurance
yeah, as long
company.
as you're utilizing a participating mutual. Yeah, that's always a caveat on this channel. Yeah. So, yeah, for sure. So talk to me, like, give me, like, I don't know, we're not prepared for this, by the way. I'm just ripping, questions and whatever.
It's all right.
So give me, like, your top, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reasons that you love whole life insurance.
Oh gosh, you only want me to give you 5?
Just give me one. Right. Give me what you got.
One is guaranteed interest. I love the fact that you have a policy that no matter what's going on, you got guaranteed interest built into a contract.
Yeah.
Bar none, the greatest thing that you can have. The second thing is you got an opportunity to earn dividends.
Yeah.
And once dividends are declared, they can never be taken back. Yep. And I like the fact that insurance companies, even, they've been operating, the companies that we use, over 100 years, and they've consistently earned money and made money.
Yep.
And when they make that money, they share that money with its policyholders.
Yeah.
So I love the fact that you have one of the oldest financial institutions skilled at making money, partnering with you to make money on your behalf. Totally. So I love that fact. So that's two things. The third thing is that you get tax accumulation money, the money that's going to grow,
tax-free.
That's going to grow tax-free, that you don't have to worry about the tax man, and which a lot of people are not paying attention to the tax man right now, which they need to be, because taxes are going to go skyrocket. Taxes are going up. It's impossible for taxes to even remain where they are right now.
Yeah.
We got $31 trillion of debt, and the number is growing at an astronomical pace. And
it's ugly.
More importantly, the scary thing is that Congress is functioning right now like we don't have any debt. So they're spending money.
It's scary.
They're spending money like it's happy hour, and they are buying all the rounds. They like coming in, hey, we Congress.
Let's go. Come on, Funnel Hacking Live, government.
Come on,
Let's
baby.
Go.
We spending everything. So tax safety is one of the great things. Another thing what I like to teach my clients to do is how to leverage the cash value to go buy other assets when they're on sale. So like right now, we're looking at two things that's having a little turbulence right now. You got the stock market that's going turbulent. You got the real estate market that's going turbulent. This is a great time to have a pool of money that's safe, that you have access to, that you could go out and get
you could go and
get an opportunity. Yeah. You could go buy something on sale that's going to be able to produce a revenue for you and your own. You can use that money to start a business. I mean, and the more important thing, which I've used it on myself for too, is invest in like conferences that we are attending right now.
Invest in yourself.
That's the best investment you're ever going to give.
The best investment you're ever going to make is in yourself, and it's going to return the greatest premium, period. And if that's not the case, you need to reevaluate your life.
Exactly.
I'm a big believer in that.
Exactly.
So
I only gave you 4. I can go on and on and on. I mean, we got uninterrupted compound interest. Yeah. Your money can grow without it ever losing any force. It's kind of like having money in an account that is super turbocharging on your behalf all throughout the phases of your life. I mean, you have to love that. More importantly, and a lot of things that I stress with my clients is that it is a great financial equalizer, especially for my clients I serve primarily are in the Black and brown community. It's a financial equalizer because it is the only product that will be able to do multiple things. It's like a Swiss Army knife. It can help you build wealth, it can help you grow your wealth, protect your wealth, and more importantly, pass your wealth on.
Totally.
And that's one of the things that we are very intentional in doing, is closing the wealth gap here in America. And we use life insurance as a force to do that.
I think that's super important, that point alone. So in a world where money is so tight, where people are so stretched thin, getting each dollar to perform more than one function in your life is so powerful. Everybody needs an emergency fund. Everybody should have an opportunity fund. Everybody should have their money doing more than one function for them, getting life insurance, living benefits, savings, guarantees, preparing yourself for all that. You put your money in a savings account, you're gonna have the guarantees and the liquidity, but you're not gonna get all the other stuff, you know? If whole life is the only, that's why I kind of tell people whole life insurance is the only financial product in the world that will make sure what you want to happen will happen when you want it to happen, whether you're here to see it or not. Period. Nothing
yes,
else.
Indeed.
And that's guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
And by the way, no other financial product in the world can say that.
None. No stock.
Nope.
No bond. No mutual fund. No real estate.
Yeah.
No nothing.
It's interesting. We were watching somebody today. I don't know if you were in the room. I think you probably were because you probably watched all the talks today. I can't remember exactly how she said it, but it was basically like the profile of money. Oh man, I wanna like go look at my notes. It's crazy, but it was. She was talking about how. Oh, how did she put it? How she phrased it. It just made me realize that whole life insurance does all these things with money in a way, because she was talking about how wealthy people think about money. Mm-hmm. That's really what it was.
Yes.
And the way she put it, I was like, oh my gosh, like that's whole life insurance. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And man, I want to get hold on a second.
Okay.
I got to do this.
That's all right.
This is what I do. It's random. It's random. We're getting the notes.
That's what makes it cool.
We're getting the notes. Random. We're getting the notes. This is how it's going.
This is not rehearsed.
No, this isn't, but I got you. Oh yeah, so here we go. I'm telling you, this is solid gold. Poor people are poor because they ask the wrong questions.
Yes.
They ask how much it costs,
and rich people,
when they should be asking how much is it worth.
How much is it worth?
Right?
Exactly.
And so like that alone, guys, like think about it. I can't tell you how many, and you're probably in the same boat, how many people tell me whole life insurance is too expensive. Whole life insurance is this. The cost of insurance is this. Especially the IUL people. Whole life is so much more expensive. First of all, it's a lie. Secondly, I
was about to tell you about how big of a lie it is.
It's a huge lie, but here's the deal. Like, if it's funny, wealthy people, wealthy people come through and they're like, they get it. And it's amazing. It seems to be the lower the economic scale for somebody, and I'm not saying this with judgment, right, on those people. It's just a lack of education, a lack of understanding. And it's the people they're surrounded with.
Why do you think they call whole life insurance the rich person's haven?
Totally, and so
because they understand the value.
But it's amazing to me. It's like I was brought up with the mindset, not brought up with the mindset, but I by the grace of God had a great mentor in my early 20s that said, Chris, if you want to be successful, go find people that have the life that you want and emulate what they do until you get there. And I was lucky to meet a guy who was a serial entrepreneur and real estate investor who leveraged infinite banking.
Oh, really?
Leveraged borrowing against policies to buy a bowling alley, borrowing against to buy condos during the recession and all that stuff, you know? And so that was my intro.
It's funny that you said that. I had the exact opposite effect, yes.
Okay, what was your story?
My mentor told me if you want to be rich, go look at what poor people are doing and do everything opposite.
Oh, that's kind of a weird way to look at life.
Kind of a weird way to look
more positively at life, right? Like
so you just go look at that and then just do everything that they're not doing. That's what you do.
That's hilarious. So how did you get into the business?
Oh, I actually got into business by mistake. I actually got in business by mistake. So I had my whole life planned out.
Okay.
So in school, I was a chess player.
Ooh, that's
so
fun.
I traveled.
You gotta play chess sometime.
Oh no, you don't want the smoke. Just let's stick it to life insurance because that's gonna be.
Sounds like a challenge.
Yo, you don't want the smoke. But I traveled all around the world.
Okay, maybe I don't want the smoke.
Yeah, playing chess, and I was one of the best chess players in the United States. I mean, we had back at this time we had a United States All-Star. I
kind of want to try to get my butt whooped. I'm just saying, I want to try.
So to make a long story short, I went to Penn State.
Okay.
And I had my whole, I was going to go and I was going to teach chess.
Okay.
And I was going to travel the world in the summer times and go hit every chess tournament all across the world. I had all of these things planned out.
Phenomenal.
So when I graduated from Penn State.
Fisher and the whole life insurance over here.
Yes, indeed. It's all about the strategy. That's what makes me so valuable.
I love it, man.
Because I strategize on these things. But one of the things that happened when I was going to teach in Philadelphia, the fixed salary was $29,900.
Ooh, way to go!
And that was with a master's degree plus 30 credits.
You're not getting rich doing that.
No. So and I had student loans, and I was preparing a life to be poor.
Nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that. So it was funny. I took a job working as a mortgage originator, and my whole thing was like, I'm gonna make as much money. It was a commission paying job. I'm gonna make as much money in this 4 months before I'm planning to become poor, because I didn't want to start to teach in the middle of the school year.
Sure, so you're just trying
I was trying to stack some money
build a
up,
storehouse,
and then go teach, make this little bit of money, but have a pool of money to offset what I was doing. That was the whole plan.
That's funny.
But a buddy came over that I went to Penn State with, and he came over to the house, and we was talking. I was like, what you do for a living? And he showed me this 4-column presentation on how to build wealth. I was like, this is what you do for a living?
Yeah.
So in the back of my mind, I was already looking for other opportunities, because I really didn't want to teach and become poor. I did not want to do that.
You're just teaching.
It's funny how the Lord works.
Right? Amen.
It's funny how the Lord works. So now I get the opportunity to be in control of my destiny, to be able to help the people who want to be helped, and be able to give them a vehicle that can, that they can have money. And that's one of the things I love about whole life insurance, because it provides you with an opportunity to have money throughout all phases of your life.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I, from a strategic standpoint, I teach my clients how to maximize that money that they have throughout the course of their lifetime. And more importantly, to replace income at death. Because a lot of things that happens in Black and brown families is that we have a double death.
Yeah.
So the first death, we have to deal with the emotional ramifications and of losing a loved one. And then the second death is that there is no money to replace the income of the loved one that we just lost.
Crazy. Yeah.
So that's why I love what I do.
Yeah,
because
totally.
we have the ability to help influence and change generations and be able to provide economic relief to families going forward. And that's one of the greatest benefits that I have with working. So, that's the thing that gets me charged up. That's the thing that keeps my passion high. Yeah. That things keep me coming to conferences like this to get better, so I can learn to become a better resource that I can be able to serve the communities that I'm in. That's
the biggest thing. So I'm going to do a video tomorrow, right? I'm going to go around here because I've been talking about you got to invest in yourself, right? Like we talked about at the beginning. So I'm literally going to go through this because I feel like a lot of people that watch this stuff, and we got a couple minutes, we got to wrap this up, but I feel like I talk about it all the time. I'm sure you talk about it with your clients. Like, we got to invest in ourselves. And it's one of the great parts about whole life. Like, you're using it to come here and do this and like whatever. I'm going to go around here. I'm going to do a video asking everybody, like, how are you investing? Like, what are you getting out of this? And like, I want to interview a bunch of entrepreneurs and get a bunch of random stuff, because people, I feel like, just if you understood what we understood, you would flip your perspective on a dime, right?
Yep.
And so I want to wrap my head around, like, get it, or not wrap my head around, but I want to get all these perspectives out there, because I think a lot of times people are, these entrepreneurs, there's a lot of amazing people in here doing a lot of amazing things, making millions of dollars, having a ton of success online. If you've ever bought anything online, anywhere, Facebook ad, Instagram ad, YouTube ad, you've purchased it from somebody in this room. Like, pretty much guaranteed, right? Pretty much. And so, like, there's amazing things happening here. And I think, like, just understanding that your best investment is not a stock or a mutual fund or anything else. It's going to be your ability to contribute and become who you need to be to achieve the life that you want to live.
Yes, because one of the things that I learned early is that God is so magnificent.
Yeah.
Because he gave us all different sets of skills and different set of talents to make the world a better place. And like, I tap into that because I really believe that I have the world's greatest financial product. And if you own other assets, oh my gosh, you can really make this thing, you really can make this, the power that we have with life insurance, do things that no other product can do. You can leverage this like it's like no other, and be able to replace income to yourself at your tax advantage. It is like the most beautiful invention that we have the power to help serve people with.
And I believe Spider-Man when he said, with great gifts come great responsibilities.
And that's why you can't sell Index Universal Life, because you're not being responsible.
I know, it's crazy. So So guys, here's the deal. Hopefully you enjoyed this. This was just a little impromptu interview that we did because I thought, it'd be good to introduce somebody else and get another perspective and hear another voice, another tone, another perspective, you know?
To get some perspective from a brother.
Yeah, you know,
out here in these streets,
totally
trying to educate the folks about the most powerful thing that everybody tells them that is the worst thing to put your money into.
Exactly.
So you know what the word says, that whenever they tell you to do something, you do the opposite, because that's where all the where all the glory is in. So everybody's telling you to run towards something, you run the opposite. I heard Warren Buffett said that, and you're going to see, like, one of the principles that he says that
true. No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, one of the things he always says that, you know, you're going to really see when the tide rises who was swimming naked. There's a lot of people out here swimming naked.
Oh yeah, and they're going to get exposed. Totally.
So you know, cash value is king. You know, life insurance is the great financial equalizer.
Amen.
You know, it is the safest place to put your money. It's a moat around your castle. It is one of the best financial products ever made.
Amen.
And
I'm with you, brother.
I just like to say these last words is to get some, and if you got some, get some more, because you can't lose with cash
while the getting's good.
Get it before the government decides that they're going to change the rules to get more money.
Yeah, I'm with you, bro. Well, dude,
I
thanks for being here.
brother.
You too, man. Appreciate you. So, guys, any questions? Comment in the comment section below.
Thank you for the opportunity to be of service.
Absolutely,
I think this is a service
man.
call.
This is amazing. Go ahead and subscribe, hit the bell, and I'm going to put his information once again down in the description below. Go follow him on Instagram. He does all sorts of good reels too, a wealth of information. So that's it. Till next time, have a blessed, inspirational day. We'll talk soon. See ya.